Hello and welcome to Let's Play Super Meat Boy, Sewers of Dross. This was a downloadable package that was released way back in November that takes advantage of Gish, one of the playable characters that you're able to unlock pretty early on. For those of you unfamiliar, Gish was originally an indie game released back in May of 2004, and little fun fact, he shares the same name as Smashing Pumpkins' debut album. Little fun fact for you there. Also, in case you're wondering, Gish is a 12-pound ball of tar. Yeah, that really came as a surprise to me, since it just seemed like he could really be anything. But if you've played that original indie game, he's pretty malleable, and it's a little bit more puzzle-oriented than Super Meat Boy. Anyway, if you haven't played around with Gish all that much, he has a unique ability that he can stick to things. Either he can run along the ceiling, or he can stick to the side of platforms. I have to be honest, there's not too many situations where that comes in handy playing through the regular Meat Boy campaign, so perhaps that's why they released this map pack in order to showcase his abilities a little bit more. The things to keep in mind are, in order to stick to the side of a wall, you hold R trigger. You could hold left trigger or X, both of those work as well. And the other thing is, in order to run along the ceiling, you need to hold the run button, whether that's R trigger or X, as well as A the entire time you're up there. I'll get into that a little bit later on in a level that showcases that ability a little bit more. For a lot of these, you have to just kind of time your slides down the wall. For there, I just hold right trigger and then let go of right trigger for a little bit, and then kind of inch your way down that way. Some of these levels, especially this one, the Tree of Life, can be incredibly difficult to get through. But, you know, if you've played any amount of Super Meat Boy, you are probably playing it because you are a fan of, you know, being a masochist. So these are right up your alley if that is the case. Some of these don't really require his abilities too much. This one you could probably use the run along the ceiling trick to your advantage, but because those Super Meat Boy mechanics are so ingrained into my hands at this point, it was just a little bit easier to go through it as though I was playing as Super Meat Boy. This stage, not really too daunting, you just need to time that last jump pretty appropriately. This one's another one of those levels where you could probably save yourself a little bit by using that stickiness of Gish, but it's not really that necessary. This one has a couple tricky jumps, especially that one at the end. As you can see, I died about 900,000 times. Alright, here's the level where you use the ceiling run trick pretty exclusively. The one thing that's a little bit strange is when you do that, having to hold A the whole time you're on the ceiling isn't the most intuitive thing, since normally you just press the button in order to jump. The other thing is, while you're running along the wall, it kind of feels like an ice level from Mega Man or Bucky O'Hare, or any of those old Nintendo platforming games. I believe Super Mario Bros. Would be another example where even after you've done pressing the button, you kind of still slide around. Through my 9,000 gishes that are up on the ceiling right now, you could probably see that being put into practice pretty well. This level was pretty challenging to get through the first time. It's just trying to get a handle on those laser beams is really tough, since you need to drop at exactly the right moment, and though it allows you to see when the laser's going to turn on, it doesn't do the same when it turns off. This is one of those levels that's all about block management. You can run along the ceiling coming back, or just do a bunch of quick jumps. And this level right here is, I hate this level with a passion, just because it's so monotonous and so boring. This was one of my recordings out of several, and I kept dying because I would get so bored, and in order to pass the time, I'd just sit there and fuck around all the time. As you can see, there's a key in the middle of the stage, and it slowly makes its way toward where you're at. You have to jump over and grab it. It kind of looks like I didn't A+ it right there, but for whatever reason, the replays add on a 1/10 of a second to your time. So you can see right there from the screenshot that I, in fact, just barely by 0.03 of a second made A+ on that level. They don't give you a whole lot of margin of error. If you miss that first jump like I did, it's really tough to get that A+ time. This level I really liked. Again, you probably don't really need to use Gish's ability all that much on it. It seems like a level more designed for Super Meat Boy, but it's pretty fun to just kind of time your jumps while these lasers move back and forth. This level, on the other hand, is just basically the prior level flipped on its side, and you absolutely have to use Gish's ability in order to get through this. The A+ time is a little bit tight, so fall down and just make sure to use those blocks as shielding. This is the last level in the run, and it is no slouch whatsoever. Timing these jumps and making it through the lasers is really, really challenging. So kudos to you if you can pull this off and not die 9,000 times like I did. Well, anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned. Hopefully there'll be some new videos, both for the regular stages and as soon as new stages are released. So thanks for watching, and take care.